you want to tell me about what kind of day Jalen Hurts had?
Yeah, I thought Jalen Hurts was fine today. Still not throwing interceptions, right? I thought that there were some real good passes in there, but there were times when he was under duress, and that's not necessarily on Jalen. That's more just kind of adds to the overall composition of it. The first period of 7-on-7, there were 6 passes there, and 4 were to AJ, 2 were to Devontae, and that was kind of indicative of how a lot of the day went in the passing game. I thought that I thought Jalen was good. I didn't think Jalen was exceptional. I've seen better Jalen days, but I didn't think it was like a bad day from Jalen.
I think I would say that in general, I was a little bit underwhelmed by like the competitive nature of this practice as one practice. This is the only one the Eagles are going to get. Like, there wasn't that much move the ball action just at the very end. It wasn't wasn't all in front of the team, so it wasn't as
they didn't have everyone comes together.
Like, if this is the most competitive period and thing the Eagles have all summer, pretty underwhelming, don't you think? I mean, they were warming up for like 45 minutes today.
Yeah, there was a lot of individual stuff where I'm like, they could just do this at NovaCare. They didn't have to come to Foxborough for this.
Yeah, I mean, we could have done 2 of these.
Yeah, so actually, before we get into the specific practice, let's just look globally here, because I hope we're not meandering. But this is worth pointing out that in previous season, they've had 3 to 4 joint practices. Players even remarked on this. They're used to coming and doing 2. Gerard Mayo said before practice that he thinks 1 is sufficient because he thinks the second day is when you see more fights. Teams go back. Things linger from the day before. Things
you watch the tape. You're like, this guy was doing something dirty, or like the coach is reaming you out for like this guy kicked your ass. What are you going to do about it tomorrow?
Yes, exactly. Nick Sirianni said that because they had a game on Friday last week, and then this game's Thursday, they really have a lot of time between games to do 2 of them, do 2 joint sessions. And
not sure I buy that.
And then typically, by the way, they do with 2 different teams. He said he doesn't like doing it before the first game. Nick Sirianni said this. He doesn't like doing this before the first game because not everything's installed. And they can't do it before the 3rd game this year just because they're playing in Brazil, and that game's on a Friday.
Yeah, that's the one I really don't buy.
It really messes up their schedule. So this is the reason I'm bringing this up is what Bo just mentioned. Like, the 2 hours today is the most competitive work that the offense is probably going to get all summer, right? And Nick Sirianni can tell you that they'll do stuff in the stadium that's almost scrimmage-like, but still, you're not getting the effect that they've had in the past. And Nick, by the way, has placed a premium on joint practices in the past. So only having 1, especially in a year when you have a new offense and a new defense, it's an interesting choice.
What do you make of that?
I don't love it. I like joint practices. I think if you're not going to play your guys in the preseason, you should get this work into joint practices. I think you learn more about the team for the reasons that you mentioned. There are times when you watch an Eagles practice and you say, to use the example you gave, is Bryce Huff struggling or is Lane Johnson that good, right? So then you see Bryce Huff go against a different right tackle and you can say, all right, Bryce Huff's good. Lane Johnson's just that good. There are times when if Johnny Wilson is having a good day, or let's say protection. If the Eagles are holding up in protection against different looks, is it a look that they're familiar with, right? When they see these unfamiliar looks, when they see this Gerard Mayo defense, does it present different challenges than what they would typically see in a game? I'm sorry, in a practice.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, we will have no way to know what impact it makes, but I think it's a little bit disappointing. It's a little bit underwhelming.
I would like to see more. Sure, I'm always in favor of more joint.
Do you think that this means that maybe the starters will play at all?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't. I think that the first time you see Jalen Hurts playing a game is in Brazil.
Okay.
In Sao Paulo. In
Sao Paulo, Antonio.
No, in Sao Paulo.
Antonio.
In Sao Paulo. So that was my quick takeaway with Jalen. I'll dig into my notes more. I did think he remained efficient. There were a few times when there was one slight miscommunication. There were times when he was under duress. He had to tuck the ball a bit, but I thought overall he was getting rid of the ball. He was operating within the offense. There were things they were doing to devise guys open. There was a nice wheel route to Saquon Barkley.
Saw that one.
Down the
Yeah,
left,
that was
down the
nice.
left sideline. There was in the there was
a nice completion to Devontae where and it seemed like that was an unscripted play. Like that was not the original intention of the route. And then he saw that Devontae there was no safety deep, and he just was, while he was scrambling, he floated it deep. It was a good little indication of their rapport.
Good observation. Look at you. You're able to watch the defense and give keen insight.
Well, I was up high. I was going bird's eye view for this practice. So I got to see a little bit of everything. Bird's eye view.
Look at that. I like that. And then there was a pass to AJ in the 2-minute drill late in the late in the practice when AJ caught it and then kind of got down on his knee. They didn't get another play off, and AJ thought he scored a touchdown. I asked him about it afterwards. He was like, yeah, they weren't going to tackle me there. So that's why he didn't go back to the line of scrimmage. But that was a nice play.
Did it look like a touchdown to you?
Yeah, they weren't going to tackle AJ Brown there. Yeah.
Okay.
But overall, I know Bo's going to roll his eyes when I say this, because you need to give more like high level analysis than this. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith are the focal point of this offense, and
no doubt
that was most evident today.
We all silly like the mayor.